Today is September 4th, and this is an update on the eviction crisis in Illinois. The COVID-19 pandemic has devastated my state's economy, spurring catastrophic job losses that have left hundreds of thousands of people unable to afford rent each month. Statewide action like housing grants and temporary eviction moratoriums have so far prevented people from losing their homes en masse. But with ever-changing mandates at both the state and federal level, many Illinois residents may not be aware of the protections that are available to them right now. Some Illinois landlords are still serving unlawful notices eviction notices despite the moratoria. And when tenants seek out legal help, it is often too late. We must ensure at a minimum that everyone knows their rights under the current policies and that nobody loses housing during this pandemic due to the actions of unscrupulous property owners. But even if we take these steps, what we've done so far doesn't go nearly far enough to address the crisis. The statewide ban on rent control has led to unacceptably high rents that people struggle to afford even before the pandemic. Without much more robust housing relief, we are simply delaying the impending evictions cliff. Whenever these moratoria expire, those who are already suffering from housing instability in Illinois will become shackled with debt from unpaid rent. This could ultimately lead to more than 600,000 Illinois renters being evicted, with the impact being felt most severely among low-income renters, Black and brown renters, and individuals with disabilities. In the end, this could trigger a wave of homelessness and displacement that would exasperate already vast racial inequities in access to housing and wealth. We can't sit back and let that happen, like some did after the Great Recession. A decade ago, Black wealth and homeownership declined amid disproportionately high rates of unemployment and racial bias in lending, decreasing median Black wealth by 40%. Our households suffered the most from the economic downturn and benefited the least from recovery efforts. Most Black families still haven't recovered from racist recovery plans that left out the people who needed it most. And yet, now we face another historic crisis that we cannot allow to destroy a new generation's dreams of owning a home or moving up the economic ladder. There can be no doubt how this could affect Black families in Chicago. Already, renters in our city's Black neighborhoods are 4 times more likely to be evicted than those in white neighborhoods. It's time for us to take bold action to avert this housing disaster. We must start by informing Illinois residents of their rights and by addressing head-on the ways in which private equity has been complicit in fueling housing insecurity. Let me repeat that one more time. We must start by informing Illinois residents of their rights and by addressing head-on the ways in which private equity has been complicit in fueling housing insecurity. President Trump is bailing out Wall Street, while states continue to struggle to provide much-needed relief to steer us away from this evictions cliff. Illinois also needs robust federal funding to provide support for renters and homeowners who will likely find themselves struggling after the moratorium expires. States cannot bear this burden alone. We cannot say that hundreds of thousands of newly homeless residents due to eviction and foreclosure when temporary protections expire is an acceptable solution. I am standing in solidarity with many tenants, homeowners, and organizers in calling on Governor Pritzker and the Illinois legislature to take action now. We must lift the ban on rent control, continue to extend the eviction moratorium, and demand federal relief so that we can cancel rent and mortgage payments. We must push forward on the most progressive efforts to cancel rent and mortgage payments, to ensure that renters and homeowners don't simply rack up housing debt that they'll never be able to pay off. I'm Robert Peters, and this has been the Dispatches from the Briefing.